Hey everybody, my name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and what I want to talk to you about today is just changing the world. How can you change the world? What's happened, I feel like people have gotten too narrow in their looking at how to solve problems in the world and address injustice, address inequities, disenfranchisement, etc. There are plenty of ways to do it, and it doesn't always involve getting the government involved. And making policy changes, etc. And the problem with taking that approach most of the time is that it's heavily based on elections and getting the right people into power, and that can take years, and oftentimes in the process you still have to compromise on what you're trying to do greatly, so you're taking a really long time to get it done. You've wasted a lot of resources to get there, and at the end you kind of have a watered down version of your intended goal, because politics is compromise. So there's all sorts of other ways you can do it without compromise, and you can put those resources to use today, such as a business. Okay, think of if you can find a way to make the change you want in a profitable manner, you'll have a business, and at the same time you're employing people, which helps, but at the same time you're also solving a problem, providing value to your customers who are helping you solve the problem. So again, if you find a way to make a business model, I mean, take a look at Tom's. For every pair of shoes they sell, somebody else gets a pair of shoes for free, okay, in a country that needs it. So you can create a socially conscious enterprise. That's on you to do. But you can also create a charity. So if you can't think of a model to make the change you want profitable, you can just say, hey, you know what? I think this is worth doing, and you go out there and you seek donors. And the value of having to actually seek out people to voluntarily donate to you is that, one, it forces you to understand what you're asking, because the only way you're going to get someone to donate to you is if you thought through your mission. You thought through your mission, you're able to communicate the value in doing and making the change you want to see, and that you understand what you're going to do to make that change happen. Because if you haven't thought all that through, it's going to be really hard to convince larger donors to donate to your charity. And so it forces you to kind of really think through it, and it makes it for better use of the funds. While with government, if you just get appropriated because you have the right people in power, it doesn't necessarily put the same pressure on you to think through all those details. And then third, just getting together with your community. Okay, and you don't necessarily have to form some big formal charity. It could just be a small community organization, like a community neighborhood watch or something like that. You can create a sort of a neighborhood food watch where you and all your neighbors get together and put together extra food and go feed the people who locally could use food, or provide shelter to people who could use shelter. And you find ways to work together to provide aid to your local community. That also helps breed a local community feel, and that community tightness that can sometimes really make a difference. And again, you don't have to wait. These are all ways of getting something done today. Basically, it's just a matter of going out and doing it. No, you don't have to ask for anyone's permission. You don't have to wait for another election. You can just make this happen now. All you have to do is just sit down and try to figure out a way to do it, and be willing to take the risk in doing it. And another benefit, again, one of the biggest things that to me is always important when you're doing things yourself voluntarily, is that it forces you to learn how to communicate value. Because it's not just about doing things, but it's about being able to tell people and make people understand what you are doing and the value in what you're doing. Because if you can do that, you can move mountains. But a lot of people sometimes just don't want to learn how to communicate value, or maybe struggle with it and then just ignore that as a challenge and say, okay, well, I guess we just have to resort to sort of forcing things through the political process. And again, that takes time, it takes compromise. You're going to get a much watered down version of your original goal. So hopefully you take this in mind. And again, there's all sorts of other ways to change the world through education. Like, nowadays you can just create videos with your smartphone for free, educating people on anything that you want. And providing information, so not just creating videos educating people, but providing information, collecting information, and distributing information. It's not just making the information available, though. It's also the presentation of the material. Anyone can provide some spreadsheet on some data online, but to put it in a form that makes it easy for people to read and understand, that's of tremendous value, and can really go a long way in helping change people's behavior in a way that you may find advantageous to the world. So you can change the world, and you can change the world now. You just got to be creative. You just got to be passionate and work with us to make it happen. My name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com. Have a great day and enjoy.